All right, so I tried to fit all that into one video, but it didn't work out. So I apologize for getting cut off at that very end. My Screencast-O-Matic only gives me 15 minutes. So this one is going to be a quick one. So the only restrictions on real values are where the real values are not closed. So for a function to be a real value function, the domain must be a set of real numbers, must be mapped onto the range that is a set of real numbers as well. So for which operations are the real numbers not closed? So real numbers are not closed under division because we cannot divide by 0. They're not closed under even index radicals because we cannot find the even root, when the radicand is negative. This means that the radicand has to be greater than or equal to 0. And then logarithms, we cannot find the logarithm of a negative number or of 0. So that means that the argument of the logarithm, meaning what you're taking the log of, must be greater than 0. So because of the above counterexamples for closures, these operations create restrictions on the domain. So since the real numbers are closed under all other operations, there would be no other restrictions on the domain. So if we take a look at these 4 questions, what we want to figure out is which ones have restrictions on the domain. So looking at the first one, an even radical, because remember a square root implies that there's a little invisible 2 here. An even radical has a restriction, so we're going to have to consider that one. Dividing by a non-zero does not have a restriction, so this is going to be all real numbers. There is no restriction on the domain. Logarithms have a restriction, so we're going to have to consider that one. And possibly dividing by 0 is going to be a restriction, so we're going to have to consider that one. So coming back over here, we said that I can't take an even indexed root of a negative number. So that means that the radicand, what's inside the radical, has to be greater than or equal to 0. So if I subtract 6 from both sides, that means x has to be greater than or equal to negative 6. And when I divide by negative 1, that means that not only are the signs going to change, but the inequality is going to flip around to say that x has to be less than or equal to 6. So if I look at that on a number line, that means that I have a closed circle at 6, and I would be shaded to the left because that's where we're going to be less than. So I really only have one interval to describe. So looking from left to right, it's starting from negative infinity. It's stopping at 6, and we have a closed value there because 6 was included. All right, so then taking a look at C, we said the argument, or what we're taking the log of, cannot be negative or 0. And so that means that 4x plus 20 has to be greater than 0. I can only take the log of a positive number. So if I subtract 20 from both sides, that means 4x has to be greater than negative 20, and that x has to be greater than negative 5. Now notice, when I plug in negative 5, I get negative 20 plus 20, which is 0. So we cannot be exactly negative 5, but I could be negative 4 because negative 16 plus 20 gives me a positive value. So if I look at this on the number line, I'm going to have an open circle at negative 5, and greater than says shaded to the right. So again, I only have one interval to describe, and so that's going to be starting at negative 5 with an open parenthesis and going on to positive infinity. So looking at this last one, again, we cannot divide by 0. So that means that 2x minus 1 cannot be 0, and that x plus 2 cannot be 0. So solving these, that means if I add 1, 2x cannot be equal to 1, so x cannot be equal to 1/2. And over here, x cannot be equal to negative 2. So if I drew that on the number line, that means I have an open circle at negative 2 and an open circle at 1/2, but everything around them is part of our domain. So do you see that we just split this into 3 parts? And so I'm going to have 3 parts to my interval notation. So from left to right, I'm starting from negative infinity. And then at negative 2, I have an open circle. So that kind of separates that interval from the rest of the domain. Then I'm going to include from negative 2 to positive 1/2. And notice that I have parentheses because negative 2 and positive 1/2 are not part of the domain. And then 1/2 on is going to be the rest of it. So 1/2 to infinity. So I took the three pieces that my domain got split into and turned them into intervals, and the union of the three creates the domain of the entire function. So those are all of the common errors that we saw last year. And so I will be posting the assignment, and I will be posting the notes as a PDF to help you go along with that. All right, love and miss you all.